41 people liked the photo. 9 left a comment. 2 texted you privately to say it was a good one. And then you put the phone face down, and the room went quiet. And the feeling that arrived was not gratitude. It was closer to this. All of these people like me, and not one of them knows me. That is not ingratitude, and it is not a complaint about anybody. It is a very specific kind of hunger that a room full of goodwill does not feed. So why can being liked by everyone leave you lonelier than being liked by nobody? And what exactly is it that affection keeps missing? Hold on to that number. There is a cost hidden inside it, and we come back for it at the end, when it will mean something different than it does right now. Loneliness in a crowd is not a diagnosis, and it is not evidence that you chose the wrong people. Warm, decent people can surround someone who still feels unreachable. It is also not a verdict on them. Nobody in that comment section did anything wrong. They responded to exactly what they were given. The usual explanation is arithmetic. Not enough friends, not enough plans. Fix the number and fix the feeling. That premise is a little misleading on purpose. Loneliness is not a headcount. It is the distance between how known you want to be and how known you actually are. Which is why adding people does not close it. You can add 40 more and widen the gap, because each new person meets the same edited version. Underneath this are two things we usually treat as one: being included and being known. Inclusion is a seat at the table. It answers the question, am I welcome here? For most of a life, that is the question that has to be answered first. Being known is different. It answers, does anybody in this room have an accurate picture of me? Not a flattering one, an accurate one. You can have a full calendar of the first and almost none of the second. That combination is the one that aches, because from the outside, it looks solved. It looks solved to everyone else, and often to you, which is why the feeling arrives with a second feeling attached, the sense that you have no right to it. Some research on daily social life points in the same direction, carefully. It suggests that how much you interact tracks loneliness poorly, and that what happens inside those interactions tracks it better. Emotional closeness in a conversation seems to matter. So does the absence of the interactions that leave you braced. Volume on its own does not do much. Said carefully, because that is a direction rather than a law, and daily life studies describe patterns across people, not the verdict on your Tuesday. So if the room is full and the feeling stays, something is not getting through. Usually it is not their attention, it is the material. Most of us hand people an edited version, not a lie, a version with the difficult parts trimmed, the uncertain parts smoothed, the need removed. We do it for good reasons. The edit is faster, it is easier to like, and it has never once made a room uncomfortable. And then the warmth comes back. Genuine warmth, aimed exactly where you pointed it. At the edit, which is the strange part. The affection is real, it just lands on the wrong surface, and you can feel it landing there. This is the first paradox. The better your edit performs, the more affection it earns, and the less of that affection can reach you. Worth asking where the edit came from, because almost nobody chose it deliberately. Saying a true thing well is a skill, and it is not taught anywhere. What we did learn is that the easy version gets rewarded immediately. Smooth answers keep rooms comfortable, and comfortable rooms hand back approval on the spot. The cost arrives much later, and never with a receipt attached to that moment, so the two never get connected. The reward is same day. The bill is same decade. There is also a sorting problem underneath all of this. Not every encounter is built to do the same job. Some are passing encounters. The neighbor, the barista, the colleague 2 desks over. They are good for a day, they widen a life, and they are not built to carry weight. The other kind is slower and rarer, and it is the only kind that touches this feeling. A stack of passing encounters does not add up to one of them, which explains why the arithmetic keeps failing. You have been adding to the channel that was never going to fill the other one. And that teaches something. If warmth arrives and does not help, the obvious conclusion is that warmth does not help, so you stop reaching for it. The loop tightens from there. Hide the hard part, get liked for the easy part, feel unmet, conclude that people cannot meet you, hide more. Each lap feels like evidence. Nobody knows me is not a fear anymore. It is a finding, and it has 41 signatures on it. But it is not a finding. It is a measurement of what you handed over, taken by the person who did the handing. It shows up in ordinary rooms, and it never announces itself. At the office holiday party, you are the easiest person in the room to talk to. You go home and cannot name one thing anybody learned about you. In the group chat, you are reliable comic relief. Somebody posts a hard week, and you answer with the joke, because the joke is the part you know lands. At a wedding, you sit at a table of people who are pleased to see you, and somewhere between the toast and the cake, you feel the specific loneliness of being enjoyed. On a work call, 6 small windows say they are doing fine. You say it too, and you all mean roughly the same thing by it, and nobody checks. The pattern in one line: you were present all week, and nothing about you was at stake in any of it. What it costs is not drama. It is a slow narrowing. The first cost is skill. Saying a true thing to somebody's face is a practiced motion, and it stiffens without use. The second cost is that the longer you wait, the more the first honest sentence has to carry, and so the harder it becomes to say. The third is that you stop registering care when it does arrive. Somebody says something true and kind, and it slides off before you can check whether it fit. This is the second paradox. Protecting yourself from not being known is exactly the behavior that guarantees it. The way through is not radical honesty. Emptying yourself onto a coworker is not intimacy. It is a transfer, and most rooms are not built for it. It is smaller and duller than that. One person. 1 degree past the edit. Once. 1 degree is not a confession. It is the sentence you would normally replace with fine. That is all it is. This week was harder than it looked. I have been dreading that thing on Thursday. I have not been okay since the spring, and I did not want to say so at dinner. Then stop. Do not explain it. Do not apologize for it. Do not immediately ask about them to even the ledger. Because the thing being tested is not whether they respond correctly. It is whether the warmth that comes back lands on you this time instead of the panel. Choose carefully, and not by who is closest. Choose whoever has ever told you something true about themselves without being asked. They have shown you the door works both ways. It may not work. Some people cannot receive it, and that is information about the fit rather than a verdict on you. If it does work, widen it by 1 degree, not by 10. The goal is not to be fully known by Friday. It is to stop being fully edited by default. One thing that makes this easier: the person across from you is almost certainly holding a panel of their own, for the same reasons, with the same tired arms. Which means the first true sentence is not a risk you take alone. It is a door held open for 2, and it is usually a relief to whoever was holding the other panel. And there is a second half nobody mentions. When somebody hands you their own true sentence, the work is to stay still, not to fix it. One honest caveat: sometimes the feeling is not about the edit at all. A recent move, a season of grief, a stretch where the people who knew you best simply are not nearby anymore. That is not a concealment loop, and treating it like one adds blame that does not belong. And if the flatness has been constant for months, reaches into sleep and appetite, and does not move when good things happen, that is worth taking to a professional rather than to a technique from a video. Return to that number. 41 people liked the photo, And nothing about that was false or hollow. It measured something real. It measured how the edit is doing. It was never able to measure the other thing, and it was never designed to. The other number is much smaller, and it is not on any screen. How many people could describe the week you are actually having? For a lot of people, that number is 0. And it is 0 on purpose. And the purpose made sense at the time. Moving it from 0 to 1 does not require a different personality. It requires one sentence you would normally trim, said once, to somebody who has earned it. And that is the cost hidden inside 41. Every one of them was warmth that arrived correctly addressed and got delivered to a version of you standing slightly to the left. None of it was wasted, and none of it was fake. It was simply left at an address you were not standing at 41 times on a night you spent alone with the light off. Being liked is a good thing, and it will not do this job. It was never the wrong thing. It was the wrong tool, held very tightly for a very long time. The deeper change is not learning to need people less. It is noticing that you have been handing out a version, and that the version has been getting all the warmth you meant to keep.